What if I told you that as a healthcare professional, you do not necessarily need to be a tech expert before you transition into the health tech sector? Your clinical background is a huge asset in the health tech sector. There are many products, many softwares coming up, and for these softwares to be effective, they need someone that has clinical knowledge. That's where you come in. Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Veronica Zowerobi. On this channel, I give you valuable information on how to transition from any sector to the NGO or tech sector, and also valuable tips for productivity and your career. So if this is any kind of information that you need, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and let me celebrate you. Welcome to the best time of your career. Simply put, health tech is using digital technology to improve healthcare services. And behind every health tech initiative is the need for someone who understands the patients. That is where you, the healthcare professional, comes in. Now, there are two pathways you can use to transition into the health tech sector. The first is the non-technical pathway, and the second is the technical pathway. Non-technical pathway, you don't necessarily need core tech skills like coding, but in the technical pathway, you will definitely need to acquire core tech skills. I usually advise that healthcare professionals who do not have any core tech skills can start by transitioning via the non-technical pathway. And then as you gain knowledge, you gain grounds, you get more understanding of the health tech sector, you can now decide on which core technical pathway you want to specialize in and then start working on getting those skills. There are many non-technical roles you can take up in the healthcare space. One of them is clinical content specialist, or what you would call medical writing. This is where you are in charge of writing clinical or medical content for a health tech company, either medical copies or for their mobile app content or anything that needs clinical writing. Fun fact, the second job I got when I transitioned into the health tech space was as a content writer. I wrote health content for a particular website for over a year, and then I moved on to becoming a content developer. Here I developed written clinical content for a chatbot. So this is how I moved. It's medical writing, and that chatbot is for a health tech company. So this is how I moved into the tech space. Another role you can think about is telehealth or telemedicine. You can be a telehealth nurse or a telehealth doctor or pharmacist or whatever. Here you provide care virtually to clients. So it could be counseling, it could be medication management, it could be therapy. So based on your specialty, you may provide healthcare services virtually to clients. Most health professionals do this as a side gig. Another fun fact, the first health tech job I got was as a telehealth nurse in reproductive health. So I'm a trained midwife and I'm a trained family planning provider. I provided online family planning counseling services and reproductive health counseling services to users via a chatbot, and then I referred them to healthcare facilities where they can get services. So this is how I started in the health tech space before transitioning to content writing. I've done a lot of content writing for different organizations, including marketing content, and then also building chatbot conversations. You can also be a patient success manager, just like you have what they call customer success, like customer service. Now you act as a customer service manager for patients that are using a health tech initiative. So you answer their questions, you help them resolve their issues. You can be the first contact and you can easily, attend to them. You can be a digital health consultant where you consult for organizations for their digital health initiatives. They'll call you to get clinical perspective before they roll out their digital health initiatives, and you'll be paid for that. You can also be a technical support specialist. You work for companies by helping them educate their customers or their clients on how to use their softwares or their machines or anything. You educate them. If they have any issues, you help them resolve them. And so there's not much of core tech skill that's needed here. You'll be trained on how to use the software or the device, and then you go ahead to educate other people. For the technical pathway, you have roles like health data analyst. This is core data analysis. You collect data, you clean up the data, you analyze the data, you visualize the data. There's just a lot here. If you're good with numbers and you love to work with data, this is a good place, but there's a lot of upskilling that you would need if you are already not a data analyst as a healthcare professional. We also have clinical informaticist. Here you work mostly with EHR systems and other medical softwares that requires client information. So you support the building, the evaluation of these softwares that handle client data, and you also work with a lot of data. So the clinical informaticist and the data analyst, they kind of work together. You could be a digital health product manager. Here you do a lot of research about a product and the customers that this product is targeted to. You are also going to handle working with the software engineers for the building of this product. You are going to work with different teams to ensure that this product is suitable for the audience. So there's a lot of technical knowledge and skill that you would need to function in this role. There's also the digital health project manager. This is more like coordinating the entire workflow of the digital health tech team. So you are working with not just the developers, the product manager, you are working front facing with stakeholders, you are coordinating schedules, you are organizing meetings, you are following up for tasks and all that. You need a lot of skill in agile, project management, Scrum. This is actually where I'm currently specializing. I'm still acquiring a lot of skill and experience in this area, and I can tell you, you need a lot of technical knowledge. You could also be a UX designer for health apps as user experience designer. So this has to do with designing everything that the user sees on healthcare softwares or applications. You need a lot of design skill using tools like Figma and the rest of them. So you need to acquire a lot of knowledge. You can also be a QA tester for healthcare softwares or applications. QA means quality assurance. You test healthcare softwares or apps for their usability, for any error, and then you work with the team that built it to resolve these issues. You can be a software engineer as a healthcare professional building healthcare softwares for digital health companies. There are a lot more roles you can take up. You can also do more research. But one thing I will assure you is you need to upskill. Even for the non-technical pathway, you still need some skill, but it's not going to be as intense or as complicated as the technical pathway, and is an easier route to transition through. In the description of this video, I have added links to courses for both the non-technical pathway and the technical pathway. So depending on the particular role that you choose, you would find a link to go to these courses on different platforms and check them out and make a plan to take these courses. Now, note that I am not certain of the costing for these courses. I do not have any affiliation with these platforms. They are platforms that I've learned from, and I think that they will be valuable for you as well. You can as well go on to do your own research and choose a particular platform that you prefer, but these are platforms that I think are good and you can start with. Here's a step-by-step approach on how to transition. The first thing is identify your strengths. Don't just go choose any role and say, this is the one I want to do. No, you have clinical skills, but you know the skills that you are expert at. Aside that, you know the part of your clinical work you love the most. If you're moving to the tech space, I will advise personally that you move into a role that even in the clinical area you loved doing something around this area, because it will fuel how much result you will get from it. These are different things you need to think about before choosing a particular role you want to transition into. When you choose the pathway you want to take, that's the role you want to transition into, start acquiring knowledge and skill. Yes, you have clinical knowledge, but you are competing against other people in a market where they also have some skill. So identify different skills you would need to acquire, probably do a course in telehealth, probably do a course in customer support, probably do a course in administration. Identify these courses and then start working towards it. I usually say don't immediately quit your clinical job because you are trying to work in tech. No. Keep the clinical job because your salary from there will fund your transition. So from your salary, when you see the cost of the course you need to take, you now start saving a percentage to say, okay, every month I'm going to save 2% of my salary towards getting a course and equipping myself to take on a tech job. There are also a lot of free courses online. You can also apply for scholarships on this platform. And there are some organizations that run programs where they offer these courses free for some candidates. That's another opportunity you should take hold of. I usually share such opportunities within my closed WhatsApp support group. So if you want to be a part of this WhatsApp support group, the link is also in the description. You can click and join us. After identifying the courses you want to take and taking the courses, you can now brush up your CV. You are not going to use checking temperature or checking anthropometric measurements on your CV to use to transition to tech. You are going to brush up that CV up to standard to be acceptable in the tech space. Now, the clinical skills you have, you are going to still use them in your CV, but you will coin it in such a way that it will be appealing in the tech sector. Take this example. You have a lot of people as a healthcare professional that call you and you give them unpaid counseling sessions. They tell you all their problems, you counsel them, you prescribe drugs for them and all that, and you do this via WhatsApp. Now, instead of just writing counseling patients, you're going to say leveraging virtual platforms like WhatsApp or Instagram chats to provide healthcare services such as counseling and medication management to a large group of clients. You can now add the number and say over 50 clients. You see what you just highlighted? It's a perfect description if you're going into the telehealth space. So you're not just going to write it anyhow. You are going to brush your CV up in such a way that it aligns with the role that you are looking to land in the tech sector. If you're looking for CV samples or how to brush up your CV, check my channel. You will find these videos there. Now, when you brush up your CV, you come up with a very convincing cover letter, start applying to roles. First of all, I'll tell you, don't start applying to those big roles. You just want to arrive, you want to land the big job. No. Start from those little ones, internships, volunteering. This will also make you gather experience and also a portfolio to land a bigger job. So start with the smaller jobs, the internships, volunteering, then you can go on to taking up junior roles, junior associate roles, and the rest of them. And then that's how you transition to higher roles. There are most tech jobs that you can juggle with your clinical job, you can do them part-time so that you still have something from your salary that is sustaining you. I hope these tips were valuable for you. I would like to say this again. Your clinical knowledge, your clinical skills, your experience in the clinical area is very, very valuable in the tech sector. Now, if you don't have any clinical experience, you can still take up some roles in the health tech sector because obviously there are many people that are not healthcare professionals working in the health tech sector. But if you want to have the upper hand as a healthcare professional working in health tech, please make sure you have some clinical experience. Even if it's 6 months, even if it's a year, you can volunteer at a health facility, maybe do night shift for a few weeks, maybe once or twice a week, but get some clinical experience. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Leave me a comment. If you have any questions you'd like me to respond to, please leave a comment and I will respond to you. And share this video with your network. You don't know who you might just be helping. See you on the next video. Thank you. Bye.